They always described you the exact same way. Too kind, too forgiving, the one who stayed quiet just to keep the peace. Welcome to your era of quiet authority, chosen one. Funny how the same people who ignored your texts and drained your energy are suddenly feeling uncomfortable around you. They thought betrayal would break you. But instead, it activated a primal and dangerous level of spiritual power inside you. Do not scroll past this. Heaven is about to expose exactly what is happening behind the scenes. Those who plotted against you are watching everything they built crumble right now. And a massive table is being prepared for you in their very presence. You can physically feel the shift in the atmosphere. Your energy used to leak out to everyone who demanded it, but now you hold it strictly for yourself. You used to shrink yourself so they could feel bigger in your presence, and they loved you for being weak. That era is dead. Right now, they are wondering why their old tricks no longer work on you. They try to guilt trip you. They try to send flying monkeys to test your boundaries. They wait for your long emotional paragraphs, but all they get is silence. Your silence has become a weapon that terrifies them deeply, because they can no longer manipulate what they cannot access. You are no longer the empath who begs to be understood. You have become the absolute master of your reality. They want to apologize, but your energy is setting the tone. You do not even care anymore. And that total lack of care is literally killing them inside. They used to feed on your reactions. Every time you got angry, they felt powerful. Every time you cried, they felt significant. Now, they look at you and see an impenetrable wall of solid light. Your detachment is starving their demonic attachments, and they are suffocating in the vacuum of your missing attention. Take one slow breath right now and let that truth settle into your bones. You survived the storm alone when they all abandoned you. They expected you to come crawling back, broken and desperate. But you rose from that ash as a cycle breaker. You are the one who stops the generational bleeding. Your aura demands respect without a single word being spoken. You just walk into a room and the entire frequency of that space has to adjust to your presence. This is not arrogance. This is divine alignment. You finally recognize your own immense value, and you refuse to lower your vibration for anyone. God had to isolate you to upgrade your spiritual armor. The isolation was never a punishment for being bad. It was a rigorous quarantine to keep toxic people out of your new timeline. Now you are standing on the edge of a massive wealth transfer, and the people who laughed at your dreams are being forced to watch your rapid elevation. You might wonder why they seem so desperate to reconnect with you lately. It is because their timeline is collapsing without your light to sustain it. They realize they threw away the only genuine soul they ever encountered. But heaven has placed a titanium boundary around your spirit, and they cannot cross it unless you give them the key. And you are holding on to that key with a grip of iron. You finally learned that some doors must remain locked forever. Your quiet authority is driving them absolutely crazy. They gossip about you because they cannot speak to you. They watch your every move from fake accounts. They study your success while pretending they do not care. But the universe shows you the truth in your dreams and your intuition. You feel their panic radiating through the quantum field. You do not need physical proof, because your spirit detects their heavy guilt from miles away. Do you feel that small tightness releasing from your chest? That is the physical proof of your liberation. You no longer carry the weight of their unhealed trauma. You handed their baggage right back to them, and now they are stumbling under the crushing weight of their own karma. The universe is fighting your battles with ruthless efficiency while you protect your peace. The enemies who tried to bury you did not realize you were a seed, and now you are blooming into a massive tree. Before we go any deeper into this revelation, I want to hold something in front of you. Something that was discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community, but inside a research laboratory. Something that won the highest scientific recognition available, and that most chosen ones have never been told about, because it explains something I know you have felt deep down. The huge gap between the person you know yourself to be and the version of you that seems available only in flashes. I will show you exactly what was found by those researchers. But not yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was taken from you when you were just a child. So, I need you to hold this one specific question in your mind as we continue. What if the massive gap in your potential is not a character flaw at all? What if it has a physical name and can be reversed completely? Stay with me, because the secret hidden in this message will change everything. You gave everything you had. You truly thought loving them harder would magically heal their broken pieces. You poured your golden energy into endless black holes, hoping they would finally see your value. You compromised your mental peace just to keep their fragile egos intact. And what did you get in return for your massive sacrifice? You got pure, ungrateful exhaustion. They had the nerve to call you overly sensitive. They constantly made you believe your huge heart was a fatal weakness in this harsh world. But let me tell you the absolute truth right now, because your extreme empathy was never a character flaw. It was a high-level spiritual radar actively detecting their hidden demonic intentions. You were feeling their darkness, and they hated you for it. Think carefully about how your physical body reacted back then. The constant tight knot in your stomach before they even sent a text message. That strange heavy fog sitting on your brain every single morning. You thought you were just going crazy or losing your mind. But your physical vessel was desperately trying to warn you, and it knew about the severe energetic drain happening to you. Those energy vampires knew exactly what they were doing to you. They targeted your life because you carried the massive radiant light they completely lacked. They could not generate their own high frequency, so they violently hijacked yours. You were literally funding their entire survival with your precious life force, and they never once planned to give a single drop back to you. Stop blaming yourself for staying in that toxic cycle too long. Stop thinking you were foolish for believing their perfectly crafted lies. You operated from a place of pure kingdom love, while they operated from pure survival mode. You did not fail that relationship. The relationship failed your massive destiny. Heaven had to step in and forcefully break those heavy chains. Every time you tried to establish a healthy boundary, they made you feel deeply guilty. They twisted your words and played the victim to keep you trapped in their low vibration matrix. They needed you to stay small and confused so they could remain comfortable, because a fully awakened chosen one is the most terrifying thing a manipulator will ever have to face in their entire life. But then something incredibly powerful shifted deep inside your soul. You simply stopped trying to fix people who actually enjoyed being broken. You pulled your precious life energy back into your own sovereign core, and the exact moment you stopped feeding them, they began to energetically starve. Their current state of panic is the direct and undeniable result of your sudden withdrawal. Tap the like button right now as an act of agreement with the universe that your era of people-pleasing is officially DEAD. You took off the energetic shield you had graciously placed over them, and now they have to face the cold universe entirely alone. That is exactly why your current silence feels so incredibly heavy and suffocating to them today. You might look back now and wonder why you were so vulnerable to this theft in the first place. Why did you allow your divine boundaries to be pushed so far for so many years? You were socially conditioned to believe you had to earn love through endless sacrifice. But there is a much deeper scientific reason behind this massive vulnerability and heavy energy drain. Here is what they intentionally never told you. The real reason the universe responds effortlessly to certain lucky people and not others is not just discipline or hard work. It is not even good karma. It is a very specific brainwave. Scientists have a concrete name for it. They call it gamma. And it is the exact frequency your brain was running beautifully when you were a child. Back in those days, brilliant ideas came so easily to your mind. Learning new, complex things felt completely effortless. You somehow knew things before they even happened in physical reality. The entire world felt like it was completely on your side and working in your favor. Then stressful adulthood quickly arrived, and the modern world went to ruthless work on your pure spirit. The daily chronic stress and the endless digital screens took over your attention. The rigid school system trained you to quietly conform instead of boldly create. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed a little further by the survival routine. It was violently pushed deeper and deeper below the surface of your conscious waking mind until you forgot it was there. The magical version of you with lightning-fast intuition went completely silent. The powerful version of you with the kind of crazy luck that makes others whisper simply faded away. When your gamma signal fades, your natural genius fades right along with it. The beautiful synchronicities stop happening. The strong sense that the universe is guiding you goes totally and completely dark. Most people will live their entire earthly lives without ever knowing this silent, energetic theft happened to them. They will accept a life of struggle as completely normal. But you are absolutely not most people. You are finally waking up to the grand illusion. And that specific vital question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago, the answer is closer than you could ever imagine. They thought your silence was just a temporary phase. They assumed you were highly emotional and would eventually crawl back begging for their breadcrumbs, because that is exactly what you always did in the past when they hurt you. But this time something is radically different, and the heavy door is permanently closed. You completely erased them from your energetic field. Let me explain exactly why this specific silence is absolutely destroying them right now. Narcissistic manipulators do not generate their own light. They rely entirely on your emotional reactions to regulate their own chaotic nervous system. When you actively argue with them, you are energetically feeding them. When you try to defend yourself, you are pouring your energy into their void. But when you stop reacting, their entire system goes into massive shock. They desperately provoke you to get a quick hit of that old familiar energy. They secretly want your anger, because your anger is still a strong connection. But you give them absolute nothingness instead, and that total lack of care feels like actual physical pain to their fragile and broken ego. Pay very close attention to this next truth. Your silence is never a sign of weakness. Your silence is the ultimate weapon of quiet authority. You used to write them incredibly long paragraphs, trying to make them understand your broken heart. You exhausted yourself trying to logically prove your deep loyalty. Now you just look at them and feel absolutely nothing at all. The contrast is absolutely terrifying to them. They cannot read your mind anymore, and it makes them incredibly paranoid. They constantly check your social media, looking for a hidden sign of weakness or sadness. They quietly ask mutual friends if you are struggling without their presence. But all they see is a completely healed soul who is glowing brighter every single day. You have finally become the empath with titanium boundaries. You realized that some toxic people are fully committed to misunderstanding you forever, and you no longer have the burning desire to change their dark minds. You simply took all that wasted energy and redirected it into your own massive growth. You became the master of your reality while they remain stuck. Take a deep breath right now and let your shoulders drop completely. You do not owe them any kind of closure. Their blatant disrespect was all the closure you ever needed to walk away. You survived the brutal storm entirely alone when they abandoned you in the dark. And because you survived without their help, you no longer need their fake and toxic validation. Detachment is the most lethal weapon you possess in the spiritual realm. True detachment does not require any rage or screaming matches. It does not require you to plot a complicated revenge against them. You simply remove your focus and let them drown in their own toxicity. You effortlessly starve their demons by refusing to entertain their chaotic drama for even a second. And this is exactly where the dynamic gets incredibly dangerous for them. Because you removed your human hands from the situation completely. You stopped trying to teach them a moral lesson. You surrendered the entire heavy burden to the universe. And do you know what happens when the universe takes over your battles? Heaven steps in with absolute precision. They are starting to realize they messed with the wrong spirit. They thought you were just an ordinary person. They could easily break and discard when they were bored. They never realized you were a divinely protected, chosen one. The spiritual protection around you is now fully activated. Any negative energy they try to send your way is instantly reflected back to them. They are deeply haunted by the vivid memory of how good you were to them. They know they will never find another pure soul willing to tolerate their dark shadows. The sudden loss of your bright light has left them completely stranded in the cold dark. They want to apologize so badly, but they know your energy is completely impenetrable to their cheap lies. You are the bold cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. The toxic patterns that trapped your ancestors stop right here with you today. You broke the heavy chains of people-pleasing and proudly claimed your sovereign throne. You are walking in a frequency of absolute peace that money cannot buy. And your silent victory is the loudest sound they have ever heard. But the story does not end with just your beautiful healing. There is a massive storm brewing in the unseen realm right now. The universe has been quietly gathering every single tear they aggressively caused you to cry. A massive wave of divine justice is about to crash down on their reality. You will want to hear exactly how this karmic cycle plays out next. The universe has a massive memory. It never forgets a single tear you cried in secret. You used to think you had to fight back to get justice. You wanted to scream at them and expose their ugly lies to the whole world. But taking revenge is a dangerous trap designed to drag your frequency back down. When you try to punish them, you accidentally reconnect your clean energy to their dark matrix. So you chose the highest path available. You stepped back and gave the universe full permission to intervene on your behalf. And heaven does not play fair when it comes to defending a chosen one. The spiritual debt they accumulated by manipulating your pure heart is officially overdue. They thought they got away with it because nothing bad happened right away, but karma is completely ruthless. Right now, their carefully constructed reality is actively crumbling. The fake friends they chose over you are turning their backs on them. The opportunities they stole are drying up fast. Every single door they try to force open is slamming shut in their face. And the most terrifying part for them is they know exactly why this is happening. They know it is the heavy price of losing your light. You do not have to lift a single finger to destroy them. The massive void you left behind is already doing the heavy lifting for you. They are drowning in a sea of their own toxic consequences while you sit peacefully on the shore. You are completely untouchable now. You are watching the ultimate consequence unfold without absorbing any of their frantic, chaotic energy into your own nervous system. This is exactly what the era of quiet authority looks like. You no longer need to convince anybody of your truth. The universe is actively clearing your name and vindicating you in rooms you have not even entered yet. I need you to claim this incredible power right now. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this absolute authority over your energy. Lock this new reality into physical existence. The moment you type those numbers, you build an invisible fortress around your peace. Your spirit is confirming that you will never again be a victim. You are a weapon of quiet light. And a weapon of light never begs for basic respect. It simply removes its presence from spaces that are too dark and too ungrateful. You finally understand the immense value of your own pure and unbothered attention, but there is a very dangerous temptation coming your way soon. When the universe strips them of their false power, they will inevitably look for a savior. and they will try to knock on your door because you were always their safest bet. Your old empath habits might tell you to feel sorry for their pathetic situation. You might feel a tiny urge to offer them a small piece of comfort. Do not do it. If you save them from the storm, you will become the storm. Heaven is trying to teach them a brutal lesson about the true cost of betrayal. If you intervene, you are directly interrupting a divine punishment. Let them face the total collapse of their ego. You did your time in the dark trenches, trying to heal their incurable wounds. Your shift is officially over, and your debt is fully paid. They are going to reach out with a perfectly crafted apology. They will use the exact words you waited years to hear. They will pretend they finally see the massive damage they caused, but you must remember that their apology is completely fake. It is just a desperate survival tactic to plug back into your power source. They do not miss you at all. They only miss the incredible benefits you provided. This is why your absolute detachment is so profoundly important right now. You must look at their panic and feel absolutely nothing. Your lack of emotional response is the final seal on their karmic cycle. When they realize their sad stories can no longer extract a single tear from your eyes, they will finally break. Your total indifference is the heaviest karma they will ever have to carry. So let the karmic wheel crush what needs to be crushed. Your only job right now is to protect your rising frequency, because while they are sinking into the deep mud of their own making, you are being prepared for a massive spiritual launch. The space they used to occupy in your mind is now being filled with divine clarity, and this clarity is going to attract resources you never thought possible. But you might still feel a lingering resistance holding you back from total freedom. A tiny shadow of doubt whispering that maybe you are being too harsh. That small block is not your fault. It is a physical suppression we talked about earlier. And before this message ends, you will know exactly how to blast through it, because the universe has a specific tool waiting to elevate you even higher. Before you even think about accepting their upcoming apology, you need to pause. There is a massive hidden trap waiting for you right at the finish line. 99% of chosen ones fall for this exact illusion right before their breakthrough, because they desperately want to believe people can change. They mistake a survival tactic for a genuine heart. Do not let your empathy betray your peace. You must fiercely protect the absolute quiet authority you have built. Your current state of detachment is making you completely untouchable. You are operating on a plane of existence they cannot even begin to comprehend, and they are desperately trying to drag you back down into the messy mud of their drama because they need your light to survive. They want you to drop your heavy armor. But before we go any further, I have to tell you something incredibly important. Something the people who heavily profit from your endless exhaustion do not want you to know. Your newfound strength is not just a psychological shift. It is deeply rooted in physical science. Neuroscientists, working quietly away from the loud headlines, have discovered how to bring your dormant brainwave back. They found a way to reactivate that exact frequency you had as a gifted child. And they did it not through years of silent meditation that most people cannot sustain. They did not use massive biofeedback machines that cost thousands of dollars in a cold clinical setting. They achieved it through something far simpler and far more aligned with how you were originally designed to beautifully function. It is a specific sound frequency engineered to guide your brainwave patterns back to the genius state. Princeton University heavily studied this exact phenomenon. The Einstein Center in Berlin officially confirmed it. Columbia University found that when this specific brainwave is reactivated, it actually radiates outward and physically influences the toxic people trying to attack your energy. 7 minutes a day is all the time it actually takes, and it begins working deep in your subconscious the very first time you listen to it. I will tell you exactly what this powerful tool is called and how you can access it before this message ends. But first, there is something you deeply need to understand about why your final breakthrough has been delayed until this very moment. Let us go back to that fatal trap I warned you about earlier. The apology trap is perfectly designed to violently yank you out of your rising gamma frequency. When you entertain their fake remorse, your brain literally drops back into the chaotic beta wave of survival mode. That is the hidden mechanism they unconsciously use to steal your divine blessings. They steal your power by stealing your focus. You are no longer the empath who begged to be treated right. The severe crucible of pain has completely forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. From this exact moment on, your pure energy demands absolute respect without a single word being spoken. You simply observe their desperate attempts to reconnect, and you feel total unbothered peace in your beautiful heart. This new state of mind is your ultimate shield of light. When your brain begins humming at its true intended frequency, the entire universe notices the massive upgrade. You are no longer broadcasting a weak signal of deep lack and endless suffering. You are broadcasting a powerful signal of total completion. And the quantum field has absolutely no choice but to fiercely match that exact vibration. Your haters and manipulators can feel this massive energetic wall. They can sense that they have been permanently locked out of your thriving kingdom. You took back the keys to your own mind and threw them into the deep ocean. Let them stand outside the heavy iron gates and knock until their hands bleed. You are far too busy building a massive empire of peace to ever answer that door again. Every single day you hold this strong boundary, your inner genius gets a little sharper. Your intuition becomes an absolute weapon that easily cuts through their daily lies. You stop second-guessing your gut feelings, because your gut is suddenly deeply connected to the divine source. You are walking into a completely different dimension of living while they remain trapped in the old dark one. But you need physical proof that this shift is actually happening right now. You need to see the tangible signs that heaven is aggressively rearranging your reality. The universe is already dropping massive clues right in front of your eyes, and if you pay very close attention to these next few signs, you will know exactly what is rapidly coming for you. The fatal trap I warned you about earlier is heavily connected to how your reality is physically shifting right now. Because when your energy becomes completely untouchable, the universe starts rushing in to fill the empty void. You are not just healing from a bad past. You are being actively relocated to a brand new spiritual dimension of absolute abundance. And heaven is sending you massive physical signs to confirm this beautiful energetic shift. Number 1 is the sudden and extreme acceleration of synchronicities in your daily life. You are seeing repeating numbers everywhere you look. You glance at the clock and see 111 or 777. Those are not random coincidences at all. Those sacred numbers are exact coordinates, proving that your frequency is perfectly aligned with divine timing. You are thinking about a specific problem, and a random stranger suddenly says the exact sentence you desperately needed to hear. You are literally watching the physical matrix bend to your new vibration. The universe is actively winking at you. Number 2 is the bizarre physical symptoms you have been experiencing lately. You have been waking up right around 3 in the morning with your mind racing for absolutely no logical reason. Your chest sometimes feels a weird electrical flutter. Stop letting the loud and chaotic world convince you that you are just stressed out or losing your brilliant mind. That sudden physical intensity is just your nervous system upgrading to handle the massive wealth transfer coming your way. Your body is fiercely purging the old heavy trauma to make room for the new golden light. You are shedding your old empath skin and stepping into the titanium armor of a true cycle breaker. The discomfort is just spiritual birth pains. Number 3 is your sudden and radical lack of tolerance for fake environments. You used to force yourself to attend loud social gatherings just to fit in with the crowd. Now, the thought of sitting in a room full of shallow gossip literally drains your battery in 5 seconds. You crave deep, absolute silence much more than you crave basic human connection. This extreme isolation is not a sign of deep depression. It is a strict divine quarantine setup. Heaven is deliberately keeping you away from beta wave environments so your higher frequency can fully stabilize. You are being hidden in the spiritual shadows while the angels set up the massive stage for your grand reveal. Your quiet era is your preparation era. But here is where the final trap gets incredibly dangerous. Right before the massive blessing drops into your physical hands, the darkness will throw one last heavy test at you. It will send a toxic counterfeit from your past, reaching out right when your real blessing is standing at the door. They will text you out of nowhere, acting like nothing bad ever happened. They desperately want to see if you will lower your protective shield for a quick hit of cheap nostalgia. Do not reply to them. That is the ultimate spiritual test to see if you are truly ready for the massive upgrade. If you boldly ignore that shiny distraction, you prove to heaven that your frequency is completely locked in. You prove you are ready to receive. Every single closed door in your past year was a rigorous preparation for this exact glorious moment. The deep tears and the heavy feeling that God was completely silent was just a brutal test of your absolute endurance. And you passed the test with flying colors. The dry desert you walked through has suddenly burst into a massive oasis of divine favor and peace. While your enemies are completely stuck in their endless cycle of drama and lack, you are effortlessly floating above the heavy storm. They are fighting for tiny scraps while you are being handed the entire kingdom. Your silent detachment created a massive vacuum that is now pulling in the exact right people and the exact right opportunities you always deserved. Every single closed door is literally being blown off its heavy hinges right now. Can you feel that massive shift in your spirit in this exact second? That is the pure frequency of absolute victory. You are stepping into the exact timeline you were born to rule. The people who doubted your grand vision are about to witness a miracle they cannot even explain, but you must properly equip yourself for this new level of massive power. You need the physical tool to anchor this spiritual high, so the dense matrix cannot drag you back down. Because the gap between you and the lucky people who effortlessly attract miracles is about to be closed forever. And the scientific secret I mentioned earlier is the final key to that door. You have crossed the threshold into absolute mastery. The heavy chains of your past are permanently broken. They cannot reach you. They cannot trigger you. And while they frantically try to figure out how you escaped their toxic maze, you are building an empire of peace. Your quiet authority is a fortress of pure white light. You command the wind and the waves with a single thought. Look at how desperately they want your attention now. Look at how the universe is violently shaking the ground beneath their feet while you stand in perfect peace. This is exactly what complete victory feels like. You took back your sovereign throne, and heaven is officially handing you the keys to the entire kingdom because you finally learned to protect your sacred energy. Every single tear you cried in the dark has been converted into massive spiritual currency. You are radiating a frequency so powerful that it literally blinds the darkness. They are terrified. They are confused. But to hold this massive power forever, you must physically restore what was violently stolen from you. The specific question I asked you to hold at the very beginning of this message: what if the massive gap in your potential is not a character flaw, but a physical frequency? Here is the final answer. A specific brainwave called the gamma wave was running in you at genius-level capacity when you were a child. Princeton University studied it extensively. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed its massive power over reality. Columbia University found that when this brainwave is fully restored, it radiates outward and positively influences the people you fiercely love. The science is undeniable. The proof is absolute. A dedicated team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Robert Lake, spent years compressing this clinical protocol into just 7 minutes. But before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about two people. A woman named Rachel had tried absolutely everything to heal her broken heart. She tried meditation, she tried manifesting, but nothing broke the heavy fog. After 2 weeks of listening, she said something simply cleared. Not that she tried harder, but that the blocked channel finally opened up and allowed the universe to pour directly into her spirit. Her entire life became completely enchanted. Then there was Michael, who started using it to improve his daily business focus. 2 months later, his wife joked that his IQ had jumped 20 points. He felt invincible. He felt sharp. The hardest problems he used to lose sleep over started effortlessly solving themselves in the background while he rested. He said his brain was finally running on the exact premium fuel it was always supposed to use. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his dedicated team built for the chosen ones. They call it the Genius Song. It is not a generic meditation app. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. It is compressed from 1 full hour of rigorous clinical protocol into something you do at home with headphones and closed eyes. You do not chant. You simply let the pure frequency do what your beautiful brain was designed to effortlessly receive. The Genius Song is absolutely not for everyone. It is strictly for the chosen one who has already done the heavy inner work. It is for the rare soul who understands that what is being blocked is the frequency through which blessings move. If your spirit confirms this is for you, the path is officially open below. Clinical biofeedback sessions cost hundreds of dollars per hour. An in-home machine runs thousands. What this tool delivers in 7 minutes is available to you today for a mere fraction of its true value. And 4 powerful bonuses come with it to accelerate your massive shift. You get an audio track for your children to build supreme confidence. You receive the original prosperity text that the secret was secretly built upon. You get a guided visualization. You get a daily habits guide. Here is the deeper truth about waiting, chosen one. The massive provision God arranged for you does not arrive as a physical object, but as a spiritual recognition. Something already placed in your path becomes fully visible when your gamma receiver is finally restored. Waiting is not neutral. The divine arrangement is in motion. The chosen one who restores the receiver today does not receive something new. They finally see what was always there. Do not look for this ancient secret on streaming platforms because the elite want to hide it. The fake tracks circulating online have no real brain entrainment encoded in them. They carry the name, but lack the activation power. The only authentic version is available through the protected link that has been placed in the description and the pinned comment below. The universe requires absolutely no risk from a chosen one stepping into their power. If you do not feel the massive shift, every single penny is returned without question. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete and total trust. The link is waiting for you in the description and the pinned comment below. But remember that the physical tool is never the final destination. The tool simply restores the broken receiver so your soul can finally connect. Heaven does not require you to access anything to be fiercely loved. You are worthy. You are chosen. What was just described is simply one powerful way the receiver is fully restored. Whether that path is yours or not, the truth of this message belongs to you entirely. Now let us return to the deepest truth of your divine calling. Your spiritual enemies are officially out of time. You are finally standing on the absolute peak of your spiritual mountain. The heavy storm has completely passed, and the air is incredibly clear. You look down at the chaotic valley, where your old enemies are still desperately fighting for tiny scraps of attention. You feel absolutely nothing but profound and untouchable peace. You are completely free. This is the exact glorious destiny you were always meant to fiercely claim. Your precious energy is no longer a free buffet for emotional vampires and manipulative narcissists. Your aura has transformed into a blazing wall of solid white fire. They try to look at your massive success, but your radiant light literally blinds them. They deeply want to apologize, but your grace is simply no longer available to them. You have officially entered the unstoppable era of the Chosen One. You do not argue with fools anymore. You do not waste your breath explaining your titanium boundaries to people committed to misunderstanding you. You simply exist in your supreme power, and the entire physical world aggressively rearranges itself. The divine wealth transfer is no longer just a sweet promise. It is a tangible physical reality manifesting in your hands right now. For the Chosen One, whose spirit firmly confirmed what was described earlier, the ancient frequency path remains completely open. The specific tool to restore your blocked receiver is still waiting in the description and the pinned comment. That is the absolute last time it will ever be mentioned, because what follows right now belongs entirely to the sacred sealing of your beautiful new reality. Let that deep, undeniable truth settle into your sovereign soul. The universe has severely punished every single person who threw dirty lies on your holy name. You never have to lift a single human finger again. Heaven is your ultimate defense attorney, and the mighty angels are your physical bodyguards. Every room you walk into is already energetically cleared of demonic entities before your foot even touches the floor. You boldly broke the heavy generational curse that plagued your broken family for decades. The intense emotional pain stopped permanently with you today. You took the heavy generational trauma and miraculously turned it into a massive empire of generational wealth and unshakable peace. Your future lineage will never have to know the bitter taste of survival mode, because you fought the ultimate spiritual battle, and you won. Every single closed door that caused you to cry last year is being blown completely off its hinges. The people who loudly rejected you are being forced to watch your rapid and undeniable elevation. They sit in deep silence and heavily regret the day they decided to play games with a divinely protected child of the Most High. You are the ultimate anomaly. You are the rare and beautiful soul that the darkness could not consume. The pitch-black darkness is dead. The glorious dawn of the new era is shining its brightest golden rays onto your spiritual crown. To lock in this amazing frequency and create an absolute shield of divine protection, you must take physical action. Type Amen down in the comments right now to firmly seal this magnificent reality. Command the listening universe to permanently lock the heavy iron door. If this fiery message has beautifully reignited the powerful faith inside your tired heart, do not keep this great blessing entirely to yourself. There is another rare soul out there bleeding in the dark cold of despair. They are desperately needing a guiding light to remind them of their own immense power and royalty. Share this exact message with them today. Sowing the seed of bold hope today is magically multiplying the massive blessing for yourself tomorrow. You are the absolute master of your physical and spiritual reality. You are the brave cycle breaker with boundaries made of solid steel. You are a weapon of quiet light, and your deep silence is the loudest roar the spiritual realm has ever witnessed. Let your haters stay mad. Let them stay intensely jealous. Let them drown in the heavy, bitter regret of losing the most precious and loyal soul they ever encountered on this earth. You simply do not care anymore, because your total and complete lack of care is the ultimate, undeniable proof of your massive spiritual ascension. You have successfully crossed the Great Divide. You are officially, totally, and completely untouchable. You are deeply and eternally loved by the Supreme Creator of all things. Walk in your supreme quiet authority today. Do not look back, because there is absolutely nothing left in the dusty ruins of your past. Your massive golden kingdom is fully waiting for you right now. Step into your ultimate power.